Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today as we get into the latest and what is going on, and it's fireworks. At this point, it's always fireworks at Chelsea Football Club. We are going to talk Chelsea today. Yesterday, we spoke about the European Super League and the way that was going down. So if you haven't caught that video, I will leave a link for that right here. On top of that, make sure that you go and catch the video that me and George done earlier on Shootout. You'll find it pretty funny for obvious reasons. Go over there and have a look and you'll see exactly what I mean. But it's a good discussion. It's a very animated discussion. It's a very passionate discussion, thanks to George. So make sure you guys are over there. Enjoy. Also, before we get cracking here, catch all the content. Tomorrow, the preview for Wolves versus Chelsea will be dropping here. So make sure you guys are going to catch it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. And smash the like button if you do enjoy this. Check out the socials too. Let's get cracking. Look, I keep ramming this home. I keep doing it for a reason. Because I am certain this is going to happen. There are still some people that over the last few days, since the last time I spoke about it, have gone, nah, Conor Gallagher's not going. He'll stay. He'll run down his contract. Don't worry, he'll run down his contract. Respectfully, I think even if he would be up for that, I still think that he would come to his senses and he'll be like, look, if I'm going anywhere, I might as well leave now and go and sign a contract where I will get what I want. I will have a contract that I will agree, and I won't be tied down to a death row contract, and I can play my football, and I can leave the club that clearly doesn't want me. Conor Gallagher will be leaving in January. I cannot stress this enough. It's obvious. If you haven't worked out the strategy by now, then I'm sorry, you're either choosing not to see it or you've still just not understood the situation and it's taking you a bit of time. One of the two, right? There isn't I didn't know. No. You're either not quick enough to pick up on it or you're just ignoring it. You've seen it and you've gone, I don't care, or I don't want to believe it. The club want to sell. Over the last few days, there's been reports Chelsea might. If a bid comes in of 50 mil, they might consider. Please. They will put him on the market, they will wait for a team. They couldn't care if it's Tottenham, and you best believe one of the teams that will be coming after him will be Tottenham, and if he does go to Tottenham, you best believe that it's going to kick off in the fan base because it's Tottenham. Just saying that. But they want to sell. For the same reason they're selling Chalobah, for the same reason they're selling Maatsen, for the same reason they've sold other players in the past and they will continue to do so. They've let go of Lewis Hall. They've let go of all these guys that have come from Cobham because, once again, I have to stress it, it's pure profit. It's pure money. In the green, in the black, as the economists say. I can't stress that more enough. So today we've had Ben Jacobs, and there's been others. It's all come out again, but this time it's looking like even the ones that are aligned with Chelsea, the ones that are close, right? The journalists that are really, within, even they've conceded and then they've gone, oh, okay. Well, he's going then, isn't he? Nah. And they're okay with it because I'm sure they don't want to lose their links with the club. But here it is. Conor Gallagher is available in January at the right price, and Chelsea is open to offers for around 45 to 50 million pounds. I even suspect for 40 he might go. I suspect. Because you best believe that it's not Tottenham or West Ham are not going to walk in and go, all right, it's 50. They'll try and bargain, and they might come to a deal. But at the end of the day, the club will entertain it because it's pure profit. If it wasn't pure profit, then they will have to negotiate and see exactly, try and really maximize the amount of profit they're going to get. But this, they ain't losing a penny. So Conor Gallagher, I am pretty certain, will be leaving in January. Me saying that he's leaving doesn't make it okay. This is what I wanted to really ram home. I find it pretty crazy for two reasons. Reason number one, he is still, and it was illustrated in that Newcastle game, he is still our best performing midfielder. By a mile. by a mile, right? Secondly, Pochettino clearly wants him. But when it comes to Pochettino, they ain't listening to you, mate. And I think you know that they aren't listening to you. Apologies. Let me show you what Pochettino said in the press conference earlier today. This really hits home. Pochettino on the Gallagher deal due to expire in 2025. It's difficult for the coach to talk. It's up to club and player. It's going to be a decision of the club and Gallagher. I can give my advice. So far, Connor is doing fantastic for the team. That's not enough. That's not enough. And what's crazy is that's not enough. Realistically, that should be enough. But there's two issues here. Firstly, is that the club feel like they can just ignore what Pochettino has had to say here. Clearly, Pochettino wants him, right? And you've got this manager, you're meant to be giving him or backing him, especially when it's obvious. You know, if this was a player that really, I would say he's not been playing well, but the manager really wants him, but everyone's questioning him, everyone's like, nah, man, come on, you know, really? Then there's a debate. Maybe the manager's crazy. Everyone agrees with Poche. Everyone can see Gallagher right now is, well, I wouldn't say killing it, but out of everyone, the first name's on the team sheet. Without question. So that's reason number one. The other thing that I have a gripe with is that Pochettino's just going to roll over and accept this. As I said, if it was a player that is, you know, uncertain, not in form, it's a little bit, not so sure, then there's a debate, as I said. But he's playing really well. He's even been given the flipping armband. He's taking it on. He's doing his job. Poch uses him. Poch wants him. Poch has a part of him as part of the system. And the club are going, throw all of that away. Pure profit. Pochettino comes out, says, I like the player. He's doing fantastic. And the club are going, pfft. And the manager is not going to kick up a fuss about it. That's my other problem. Pochettino kicked up a fuss about other things in the press conference today, and rightfully so. I don't understand why he doesn't kick up a fuss on this. Because look, if I'm the manager and I've got a player that is fitting exactly what I need, right? And then that gets taken away from me by my own club because they want money, I'll be like, yo, brother, you do the job then. What are you getting me here for? What am I here for then? You're going to get me scrubs and I'm just going to be like, you're going to give me, well, go on, coach them. And I'm just going to go, well, okay. No. But again, there's managers, there's coaches, there's all these sort of things in between. And then there are managers and coaches that take it, and there are managers and coaches that won't. Personally, I wouldn't have it. Pochettino, I think, doesn't have a problem with it. Or he does, he's just not really bothered about it. And if he doesn't, maybe doesn't see it as a big deal. For me, that's not a good sign. That's a red flag. That's a red flag on Poch. I find it crazy that he can actually say the right things towards players in that press conference, which he was spot on about Nkunku, Lavia, players, trying to force it. If they're not ready, they're not at a level where you're not at a level, well, you're going to have to wait, Don't get peed off, or the agents or the entourages are making a big fuss out of it. Like, I agree with Poch on that. He showed a lot of emotion and a lot of sense when he was talking about that. I can't understand why he can't direct the same energy towards this situation with Gallagher. And I'll tell you why it's a big deal, because I see some people going, oh, it's all right, we'll just let him go. Let him go, it's fine. Don't worry, we're stacked with midfielders, it's okay, we'll be fine, right? If we were, I'm gonna bring this up again. If we were upgrading, if I was sure that we were upgrading, we were getting in a midfielder to replace him that I know is the bee's knees, as they say, fair enough. And even then, to be honest, I would like a midfielder to come in and complement with Gallagher, because he's the only one really showing right now what it means to be playing in this midfield. He's the best playing midfielder. You're going to throw that away. Initially, I'll be honest, when we threw out all the players that we chucked out, in the big overhaul that we had, when we saw all the players leave the club in the way that they did, and myself and many people were like, yo, it's okay, fine, cool, it's needed. I think along with everyone was under the impression that we will be bringing upgrades in, right? And we gave that chance to see what we were going to bring in. Initially, with Enzo and all these players that we got, it was exciting. Price tag, potential, this and that. Then we learned a lesson. They're too young. And there's no experience in this team. And there's no leaders. And there's no one setting an example. And there's no one holding the team by the scruff of the neck when it's necessary, when it's needed. No one to set the tone. So, okay, if we're in that situation, we'll divert your attention to the solution and don't make the same mistake again. That's how we learn, right? That's life. Well, no. Because people that are saying they're okay with this, well, let's get into what the latest is in terms of the transfer news, shall we? Let's see who Chelsea are going for. Let's see if we've learned a lesson. Santi Auna coming up with this, saying Chelsea are aiming to strengthen in 5 positions in January. Right back, left back, centre back, winger and striker are wanted. I'll be honest, I find that a bit crazy, right? I think that's a bit excessive. There's 2 issues here. It's a lot of positions for a January window. So if we are going to get players in all of these positions, you best believe they're not going to be creme de la creme. They're going to be young potential again, aren't they? Of course. Because that's the January window. It's the hardest window to even get top players in. But anyway, that, and I don't see a midfielder in there. So what, we're going to rely on who when Gallagher leaves? Okay, well, let's see the links of the players that we do know about. Let's see if Chelsea have learned a lesson. Chelsea made contact with Sporting over Ousmane Diomande and Victor Gyokeres. Double January deal came from Nizar Kinsella. We ain't going to learn. Some people are going to say, oh no, Diomande, he's fantastic, he's great, fantastic. How do you know? I'm going to ask that question as I take a sip of this wonderful drink. Lemon and mint. You should try it. Wonderful. How do you know? Oh, because you've seen him for a couple of games. Bloody hell, if that's what it means to come to Chelsea Football Club now, then we are finished. We are in the mud. What happened? What happened to going after a standard? What happened? Our player has 3 good games. Gotta go after him. He's going to kill it. He's Ballon d'Or winner in the future. Ballon d'Or winner 2029. What are we doing? Let's get into it, shall we? Ousmane Dembele. Bloody hell. Ousmane Diomande, right? I can't lie. 20 years old. For his age and what he seems like. Yeah, seems like, again, top potential, right? Doing good so far. But let's go to experience, shall we? Because we need experience. We are striving, we are hungry, we are starving for some pedigree in this team. And we have links with Diomande, who has played 27 first division games in Portugal. 27 first division games. He's 20. I'm not surprised. But how much is he going to cost? There's talk about 60 million. You guys are tapped. 60 million. 60 million. 20 years old, 27 first division games in Portugal. And he's ready to play for Chelsea Football Club. This is what we're doing. Him and alongside who? Victor Gyokeres, who we've already established, has played in second divisions throughout his entire career, despite him being 25 years old, right? And approaching 26 when we get into the new year. When we hit June, he turns 26. Unbelievable. He's over 25 in that case. Well, how many games has he played in first division football? Less than Diomande. Less. And he's going to cost how much? 80 million or 88 million because he's got a release clause and that's how much it is. And we're going to pay 150 million quid for these 2 players. Again, based on potential. Are we being serious? Are we being for real? I used to know that players that we'd go after would have had established seasons in wherever they have been. Whether it's France, whether it's Germany, whether it's Italy, whether it's even Portugal, but they've had established seasons, right? They have showed at least a relative amount of consistency. It's not they've had 20 good games, come to Chelsea Football Club, now he doesn't know what to do. We've had enough examples of those players, we've done enough of that sort of business, and we are still going to head in that direction. That's why I look to Gallagher and I go, don't let him go then. Because if I was under that impression from the beginning, I wouldn't have let go of the players that we let go in the first place. I would have kept Kovacic. I would have kept Mount. I would have kept Havertz for flipping. And he was dreadful, right? Sticking up top as a number 9, he was horrific, right? We were all there. We all remember. But if this is where we were heading, I would have said no. And I would have liked to thought that, okay, if this is where we've gone down and we've all gone down this route, then we rectify and we look to bring in some experience, some pedigree that can steer this team, at least in the short term, in order to buy time for the potential that we have. What are we doing? What are we doing? It doesn't make any sense. This is why I keep saying it doesn't look like they're learning their lessons, these guys. And Pochettino just looks cool with it. Unbelievable. Money talks. Money's the priority. It's as simple as that. I cannot stress this anymore. Because you best believe, if we let go of a Gallagher, for example, you remember Newcastle, the game against Newcastle? Did you see how much Gallagher was putting in then? It's not his first rodeo. He's done that all season. But do you see how much he meant to Chelsea for that game? That wouldn't have existed. Who would we have relied on for that game? Tell me, who? We probably would have lost further. Probably would have conceded more. Probably. Because he held down at least a relative amount of control. And that's what he does. We need at least we need that in the team right now. Because we are struggling. We need that at least. And I'm not going to pretend that everything's okay because, hey, we beat Sheffield United and we won a penalty shootout against Newcastle. All of a sudden, everything's rosy. Let's see what happens against Wolves. Let's see what happens against Palace. Let's see what happens against Luton. And then let's see after that. And then we can start thinking about, have we turned the corner? Have the players switched on? Have we? Maybe. Let's see. But I ain't going into that direction just yet. No way. Because we need consistency. And it's not going to come from a bunch of young potential players. It's just not. This team is screaming out for some experience. And it would be nice to bring in some of that experience and pair them up with players like Conor Gallagher. That are going to run to the hills for you. You know what's crazy? The example that Conor Gallagher has set has actually been exemplary. You know that? Not a lot of people have actually spoken about this. He was meant to leave in the summer. For a player that was meant to leave in the summer, still playing for a club that had the intention to sell him, look at the performances that he's putting in. Look at how he's putting his head down. Look at how he's staying ultra professional. Any other player, or some players at least for sure, would have just been like, okay, well, I'm still here then, but you don't want me. I'm gonna go half-assed. I ain't bothered. In fact, you know what? I'm going to lower my value on purpose just to make you suffer. Some players would have done that. Conor Gallagher, no. Conor Gallagher is actually even more serious than he was before he was linked with a move last summer. Does that not tell you anything about the player? I don't want that to go. No chance. Especially when we are screaming. We are hungry in many departments, and the one player that is at least working for us, we're gonna sell. Come on, man. It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. So let's see what happens. Let me know your thoughts down below. In relation to that, let's move to a couple of stories before we wrap up elsewhere, starting with the Super League. Bernd Rijkaard, CEO of Super League, one of the clubs that just made a statement against the Super League, called me and said, "We're saying no in public, but we're with you." I'll be honest, this wouldn't surprise me. And you know what? And many people are going to be like, nah, he's lying. I think he's telling the truth. Because you got to understand, the public perception isn't quite at 100% for the Super League yet. Even after yesterday. There's a lot of rejection and there still is a lot of hesitancy. But you best believe the package that is available for these football clubs, if they do go to the Super League, is you can't say no. You can't say no. Financially, you cannot say no. Yes, it destroys the heritage. It destroys the football pyramid. It destroys the integrity of the competition domestically. It destroys everything that we know, yeah? And for anyone that thinks it's not going to affect domestic leagues and all that, let's just wait and see if it actually does play out, it happens, and you will see for yourselves. But the fact that teams will end up playing in the Super League and then they will give that priority. They know they're there. They don't have to make top 4 anymore. They don't have to make top 6. They don't have to do anything in their domestic leagues. They can just play that knowing they're getting their money, they're getting their attention, they're getting their big games, they're getting everything in the Super League. That's basically going to become the Carabao Cup, the Premier League, or La Liga, or Serie A. So these teams that have been invited, you best believe, they are all licking their lips going, man, I really want to, but I'm scared about the backlash. That's what it is. They're scared about the backlash or what it would mean, or legal action, or all this madness that might kick off in their domestic countries. I believe what you're saying here. I think there are teams that have said no, but in public, but privately, they're just waiting when the right time is. When is the right time? And that's why, I'll be honest, that's why I think Chelsea were a little later than some of the other teams, Man United and Man City. Tottenham immediately followed after Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken. And then it took an extra day for Arsenal and Liverpool to say something. Why is that? Come on. Let's see what happens. Let me know your thoughts on that. Now, before we end, one final story, and let's have a laugh. We'll finish on a laugh, because it's got to be said. Right, it's got to be said. I think it's time to call Gordon Ramsay. Yes. You're probably thinking, what? Gordon Ramsay, why? I'll tell you why. It's raw! Breaking! Manchester United have been given a 1 out of 5 food hygiene rating after serving some guests at a recent corporate event with raw chicken! Raw chicken. Nah, I'm sorry. And look, this is why I put this. Somebody's got to do it. It's raw. You'll kill somebody. Kitchen Nightmares episode needed urgently at Man United. Mr. Gordon Ramsay, go on, mate. You have to go in. Send Gordon in. Send Gordon into Old Trafford. Can you imagine like him starting that show going, we're here at Old Trafford, right? And we're going to check in these fridges. And he goes in, he's like, this is disgusting. I ate here. Please give me an Old Trafford special of Kitchen Nightmares and let him flip that place upside down. It would be beautiful to watch. But look, on a realistic level, that is disgraceful. How can a football club like Manchester United, I don't even expect this at non-league level. I don't expect this at pub football. Even pub football serve you hot food. You know, raw chicken. I'm not even lying. You will kill somebody. If someone eats raw chicken, mate, call the funeral service. You might as well start arranging. You might as well. Chances are, they're not going to make it. That is incredible. I'm actually surprised they even got a rating. 1 out of 5 is kind. Raw chicken should be given a 0. Shut down your closed, mate. It's raw chicken. Unbelievable. So, I think it's only right we change their name from Manchester United to Salmonella FC or Salmonella United. I'm going to start calling them Salmonella United. I think it's only right. Let me know your thoughts on Salmonella United, right? And hope that doesn't come with a side of chips. That's probably raw as well. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow for the preview to Wolves versus Chelsea. So make sure you guys are here for that. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified once I have uploaded that video. And more, of course, watch along on Sunday as well as the game afterwards. We'll see how it all goes down. Make sure you're here for that. Much appreciated. Check out the socials on screen and in the description. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. See you then. Take care and peace.